Did you ever wonder which radiator is the perfect match for your needs? Well, so did we. And we have the 16 radiators in our stock, all different manufacturers, but they have all a different size and a different thickness. So you might think it's easy to choose the correct one for you, but we had so many surprises, you won't believe it. We have to go into a shocking discussion afterwards. So stay up with this video. The test was conducted on our bench table. Here we have a CPU and a GPU liquid cooled. We have 1610mm soft tube and the Aqua Computer pump here in the reservoir. The radiator is placed between two tables. So the air goes in from the bottom and we measure the temperature here so we can make sure that the input temperature is always like the same. And we measure the water in and outlets. The constant thing about this is the CPU and GPU heat, which was put to 100% with the benchmark. So in the end, what we changed was the fan speed. We adjusted it to silent mode with 1100 RPM and to the boost mode with 3000 RPM. For the radiator setup, we tested all the Alphacool radiators from the standard series and all thicknesses and the HPE series. Then the gold but old famous Airplex from Aqua Computer, going to the latest invention from Watercool over the famous EK water blocks. Everyone likes these ones. Then we have the new Phobya radiator, the well-known Black Ice and the Magicool. Here is a sneak preview at the performance charts. Yes, it may be a little overwhelming, all the data, so we need to go into the details now. Water cooling is not only about having a great gaming computer, it's also about modding and silence. So many people ask, when I want to build a liquid cooled computer, which radiator can I use to have the quiet experience? So they want to run with maximum 1100 RPM or even lower, and which radiator will give you a great performance at this noise level. And it's no surprise, this is what I expected, the biggest did it. Here, the Alphacool monster is a monster, and if you want to run a really silent system, you take this massive radiator. That was quite okay, but the second place goes to the Black Ice Nemesis it is. And we wonder why. There are so many radiators that are even thicker, but why does this radiator perform at such a great level with silent fans? And then we have the next surprise, because the third place is not, again, a big radiator. It's the ST30 from Alphacool. And we really wonder, why is it not the 45 or 60 millimeter versions? Why the 30? This brings us to the, let's say, second good radiators. When you see in this chart, we have then all other kinds of radiators mixed up with each other's. But to go to the red zone, which is like really having a bad temperature at a low RPM, it is again Alphacool. Like the smallest has the highest temperature, and this makes somehow sense because it's just a small radiator. But again, on the second place, you have the EK water blocks radiator, which is a total surprise, and it is even the P360M. So we're wondering why that is, and we double check this. Then it goes to the 30 from the HPE radiators, and then you have a Magicool radiator. So some surprising data here. What do you think about that? So, but to go farther, it's not just only this one parameter. So let's look at the next one. The ultra silent mode is not for everyone. Many just want to have a great cooling capacity and they have no problems with running like a 3000 RPM fan. It's still silent. If you're wearing a headphone, you don't hear it all, so everything is good. Or you just don't want to build a case with two radiators, you don't have the space, or you want to save the money, just get one radiator that does all the work. So which one would this be? And now here's a total surprise. From zero to hero, the EK radiator did it. He's doing the best job at 3000 RPM, and we wonder why it is so bad at 1100 and so good at 3000. And if you take a closer look at this, you can see that EK did a great job in the inside work, in the inner work. They extended the channels to 16, which is massive. You can even feel the weight here. It's really massive, and the FPI goes to 20. So all the other radiators don't have this. And EK has done a great construction job on this radiator. I guess this is why this is such a good selling product. And it totally makes sense that this one is the best. It even outbeats the Monster, which drops to position 3. So now, when we look at this Alphacool range, normally you would think that the bigger the better, and you should have a constant range. If it's just the same build, just thicker, well, the thicker the better. But again, this is mixed up. But what we see now is that the UT60 made it on the 2nd place and not the Monster. Monster is now 3rd place, and the 4th place goes to this radiator. So this is a little confusing. And when we go to the red zone, we see what totally makes sense. No offense to this radiator. It is the 20mm. It is the thinnest of all. That's totally okay to have it on the last place. But then you have the ST25. This is also surprising. The APE 30 is so much better than this 25 version. So here also some things got mixed up with logic. But what we want to look at is that the Aqua Computer copper version and the aluminum version, they're just 0.1 degree the same. It doesn't make any sense. The radiator is so massive. Is it 5 kilogram? I don't know. You can go for a biceps training with this one. This is so much material, and it's packed with copper, and it has such a bad performance. Well, I like the design, I like the quality of this radiator. If you take a look at it, it's like a perfect finish. It's German engineering, made in Germany. It's a really great product, but from the cooling capacity, it is outbeaten by nearly all other radiators. So now let's go to the next step and see what does the price cooling capacity ratio look like. Many computer cases are built just for the show. They cost lots of money, you put every work in the details, and they look amazing. So that's good to have that for YouTube, for Instagram. But most computers just are gaming computers you put below your desk, and you care about having a good cooling performance for a great price. So maybe even you don't see the radiator because it's behind the closed doors. So which radiator would be the best? And it is the new Phobya radiator. This comes with a good cooling performance but a really unbeatable price. Then we have the Magicool radiator on 2nd place, and a little surprise, the ST30 is the best from all the Alphacool radiators. Again, this is the small radiators which have the best performance and not the big ones. And you see on the last place, we have this massive Aqua Computer radiators. And this is just because of the insane price. 4 times this radiator than this radiator. So you're purchasing here not cooling capacity, you're purchasing a style and the German engineering and the German design. And then we have another surprise which really doesn't make sense for me, but this is again because of the product price. The Monster radiator, which showed such a great performance on the 1100 RPM silent mode, now goes to the red zone, the 3rd last place regarding the price performance ratio. And this is just because the performance is good, but the price is so much higher that this ruins the calculation. So I hope this helped you, and now we have a special look at the Alphacool radiators because we have many different versions here, and we want to get really through it. Why is the data so confusing? So let's take a look at that. Before we look at the design aspect, just take a quick look into the data regarding the different thicknesses of Alphacool and EK Waterblocks radiators. Like, what I would have thought is bigger is better, but on the 3000 RPM, this is somehow true, and this makes sense to me, except the Monster radiator, which somehow is not so good like the UT60. So if you look at the value you get for your money, the Monster is just very expensive and is not better than the UT60. The only thing where it could make sense is going on a very, very silent system. So this could make sense, but apart from that, it's just 1 degree and you pay like double the price. So it makes sense to have different sizes of radiators, but this is just like a little too much. Maybe AK did a better job and they just only have 2 radiator thicknesses. So why would you need more if the data shows that there's not really making any sense? Looking at the EK radiators, now we have a very clear outcome here. If you run a low noise system, you just even take the cheaper one, the thinner one, and it gives you remarkable performance. If you want to have the maximum, you take the bigger one and run it with 3000 RPM, or you just run it with lower RPM, and if you need it, you just turn on the fans and you get all the cooling capacity. So why is that? What I think and I assume, because I'm not so much into this technical stuff, but this is packed. This is so much filled with fins and channels, and it's really heavy. It's really heavy, and you can feel the quality and that they've put some thought into this. And I think that the airflow, if it's too low, the radiator cannot give you all the capacity it has. So it's a little stuck maybe there inside, and if you use the thinner one, the air can go through it much easier and can take the heat. So you need a certain performance level for your fans to get everything out of this radiator. But that makes sense for me. So you're fine with the EK radiators because it shows you a clear example of where it makes such a big difference which fan speed you're going. And I hope this helped you making your decisions, or it just confused you more. I don't know, maybe you can write that in the comments. And now let's look at the last point, the design aspect. If you were in my place and you could look at all the radiators, touch them, see them, compare them, you would definitely also have your favorite one and just take it home and install it. So now if you're purchasing online, this is always the issue, that you need to look at the photos, and maybe some photos just don't look the same when you get the radiators whatsoever. So I want to give you my recommendation on the design aspect, so maybe you can just make it yours, or just purchase all these radiators and repeat the test yourself. But here we go with two radiators here, which I consider the 5-star radiators, and this is the heat killer one and the EK. So what these radiators have is an outstanding design. Let's start with the heat killer. It is partially made in Germany. The core comes from China, but they have made this finish here, and they have made such a great effort in making it looking so good. And like the details are so interesting, because what they have done is they have made this stainless steel bracket here covering the ugly parts of the radiator. So when you screw your fitting in here, you don't even see this brass stuff anymore. So this is really, really good looking, and they've done everything to have this clean, nice look. And the combination is also available in other colors, so you may pick yours. The AK Radiator is on such a high level, which starts with the logo, how it is made, to these extra thread fittings here that solve this issue with the brass, and you just only have the nicest way to look at it, but you don't see it after you mount it. But however, when you get it out of the box, it's really just shiny, and it's so good. You have this aluminum parts here, and you have the M4 threads. It doesn't matter if you get the thicker or the bigger one, and you have also different color options here. So this is my recommendation of 5-star. Then we have as a 4-star recommendation, which of course are these two brothers here. It's really great finish. I like it. It's such a good design, made in Germany. They have like their own characteristic that you do not see anywhere else. And so in the end you have this quality finish. If you want to have something special you go for these radiators. And I have one 4-star. This is the black ice radiator. Why? It looks different. If you look at the end cap, it has one cap here. Then they have this side panel, which is a little different than all the others. And everything is like really nice. So that's why this radiator gets 4 stars. Even the thread and how the paint is on the threads here is of another quality level. So I hope this matches your ideas of which radiator looks best, and we can go to the conclusion of this test. When we started this test, we thought there would be one radiator that just beats it all and we can give you a recommendation. No! Now what you can see here is these are the winners. It's a lot, right? So based on what you need, what is your preferences, you may pick a different radiator. Make sense? Well, if you go for the silent system with 1100 RPM, of course this monster radiator is the best, but I would really definitely recommend to think about the black ice radiator, because this is much cheaper, it's not so big, it doesn't have this issue of cost and space that it takes in your computer case, but it is nearly the same cooling capacity at a low RPM fan. Then for the 3000 RPM, just get the most cooling capacity. EK did it. And this makes sense to me because you have this high quality inner work they have done. You have the 20 FPI and you have the 16 channels, which is more than the other radiators have, and it has a lot of weight. And of course the design and quality issue, this radiator is a definite recommendation for me. If you look at the price and you're more concerned about getting most for your money, you would pick the Phobya radiator. This is a like standard radiator. There's no extra thing on it that could cost any money, and if it's not an optical issue, just you want to have a great cooling performance for the lowest price possible, this would be your choice. If you go for the design aspect and it really matters to you how the finished product looks, you have a glass window or anything that makes this visible, well, I would go for the heat killer also with the black version is really nice, or the EK in the S version. So the S version even looks better than the P version because it's somehow so much more like looking good, because if you have the fans on it, it fits with the thickness of the fans and it gives a great setup. So the quality is the same, but it looks better in your computer case and it takes less space. Then we added some stars to everything, just 1100, 3000, the price ratio and the design. And now you can see another radiator shows up. It is the Alphacool ST30. So overall, let's say you would just value all the aspects, then this radiator would be the best choice because it has a great cooling performance at an affordable price, and it works as well on low range as on high range fans. So I hope this was helpful, but maybe you're even more confused now. So let me know, what are your preferences when you pick a radiator and which one would you want to choose? When we made this test and the results were not as expected, we thought we need to check what happens with push-pull. Does this change anything, or are the results just the same, only with more fans? And it was shocking. It changed, like literally everything got changed when we added another line of fans to the radiator. So we did the whole test again with a push-pull system, also for 1100 and 3000 RPM. Yes, with a complete different outcome. And this will going to be displayed to you in another video. It's not finished yet, we need to make it, but the results we already have, that's why I can tease it a little. So maybe you will want to subscribe to our channel or just watch this YouTube out for the next video coming. It will be about the push-pull setup. So thank you for commenting, sharing, liking, following our channel. I'm Nathaniel, the founder of Aquatuning, and I hope that this video and all the other stuff that we are bringing here on YouTube can provide value to you and help you in your decision making regarding your liquid cooling computer. Stay cool, stay online. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Goodbye.